They insult you. They lie about you. They betray you when you needed them most. And yet, you remain unyielding, not flinching or exploding in response. Instead, you maintain control, for your mind is trained. A well-trained mind does not chase every thought nor drown in chaos. It simply watches and waits. In a world designed to provoke, it is the calmest individual who poses the greatest threat. This demeanor is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it reflects control, power, and precision. As emotions rise and the storm brews, will you succumb to panic, or will you find yourself at the eye of the storm? Train your mind to rule your world. Soon, you will uncover the secret to mastering your mental state, enabling you to remain calm no matter the situation. 1. It fosters mental mastery. The most significant battlefield is not the external world around you, but rather the silent chambers of your own mind. When you learn to control your thoughts, you acquire the master key to govern your life. A power greater than any obstacle exists within you. This power is your ability to remain calm amidst chaos. Great historical figures understood this fundamental truth. Consider Thomas Edison, who faced over 10,000 failures before creating the electric light bulb. Despite his laboratory burning to the ground and destroying years of research, he did not crumble. At the age of 67, as he watched his life's work turn to ash, he simply turned to his son and said, "Go get your mother. She'll never witness anything like this again." The next morning, surveying the ruins, he declared, "There is great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burned up. Thank God we can start anew." This is the power you possess right now, the ability to confront any disaster with a calm mindset. When you maintain your mental equilibrium, you perceive opportunities where others only see obstacles. Your mind becomes a sanctuary of clarity, as opposed to a prison of panic. Remember, your location in life is a product of your mental attitudes. Your circumstances do not dictate your mental state. Rather, your mental state dictates your circumstances. This is the first principle you must accept to cultivate unshakable calm in any situation. It improves controlled attention. In the face of overwhelming circumstances, you need a practical method to swiftly regain your composure. I call this the principle of controlled attention, which redirects your focus from destructive to constructive thoughts. When you sense tension rising, pause and implement this principle. First, recognize that your thoughts drive your emotions, not the external conditions. Take several deep breaths to interrupt negative thinking patterns that lead to emotional disturbances. Second, ask yourself this pivotal question: what is one constructive action within my control at this moment? This shifts your focus from the chaos surrounding you to your sphere of influence. President Calvin Coolidge was renowned for his unshakable composure during crises that would rattle most leaders. When asked about his extraordinary calmness, he remarked, "If you see 10 troubles coming down the road, you can be sure that 9 will fall into the ditch before they reach you." He understood that most of what we worry about never actually materializes. The final step in applying this principle is to take one decisive action, no matter how small. When Andrew Carnegie confronted potential financial ruin during the Panic of 1873, he chose not to waste energy on worry. Instead, he concentrated on the immediate next step he could take. This principle of swift action alleviates anxiety by moving you from a passive victim to an active participant in your circumstances. Remember, your mind cannot hold focused action and fearful thoughts simultaneously. Choose action, and calmness will naturally follow. 3. It helps build your emotional fortress. Your emotional state is not controlled by external events. It is a stronghold you construct day by day, thought by thought. Just as a physical fortress is not erected in moments of crisis, but built meticulously in times of peace, your emotional resilience must be developed through daily practice. Emotional mastery is not about suppressing feelings. It is about choosing which emotions to entertain and which to dismiss. Helen Keller, who, despite being both deaf and blind from early childhood, developed such emotional fortitude that she graduated from college with honors and became an internationally recognized author and speaker. When asked about her remarkable achievements in the face of overwhelming obstacles, she stated, I long to accomplish great and noble tasks, but it is my chief duty to accomplish humble tasks as though they were great and noble. Her emotional fortress was not built overnight. It was constructed through countless small choices to focus on possibility rather than limitation. You can begin building your emotional fortress today by establishing what I term a mental diet. Just as you carefully select the food you feed your physical body, you must be vigilant about the thoughts you allow into your mind. Feed your mind stories of triumph over adversity, ideas that expand your perception of what is possible, and perspectives that stress solutions rather than problems. When you consistently practice this mental diet, you cultivate an inner stability that remains unshaken even when your outer world is in turmoil. The construction of your emotional fortress begins with the foundational stones of a clear purpose. Every great achiever in history has possessed a burning desire that serves as an anchor during turbulent times. What is your clear purpose? What goal or mission is so compelling that it can guide your thoughts when circumstances try to divert you? Without this foundation, your emotional fortress may crumble at the first sign of adversity. The walls of your fortress are built through the habit of controlled thought. This is not an innate ability. It is a skill you must practice daily. Start each morning by determining your emotional intent for the day. Will you allow random circumstances to dictate your mental state? Or will you consciously select thoughts that serve your greatest good? This intentional approach to your mental life builds emotional resilience over time, much like how regular physical exercise improves physical strength. The windows of your fortress, your perspective on the world, must be kept clean and clear. Through what lens do you view your experiences? The great industrialist Charles M. Schwab maintained his composure during financial panics by asking himself, what opportunity lies hidden in this difficulty? This perspective enabled him to perceive possibilities where others only saw problems. Your perspective is entirely within your control, irrespective of external conditions. The gate of your fortress, what you allow to enter your mind, must be vigilantly guarded. The newspapers, books, conversations, and associations you choose either strengthen or weaken your emotional state. Thomas Jefferson understood this principle when he wrote, "Nothing can now be believed which is seen in a newspaper." He carefully chose what information would influence his thinking, a practice you must adopt, especially when your emotional balance is under threat. Within the courtyard of your fortress lies the garden of gratitude. No emotion can thrive in the presence of genuine thankfulness. Even in your darkest hour, there remains something to be grateful for. When Andrew Carnegie faced potential ruin, he focused not on what he stood to lose, but on what he still possessed: his knowledge, his relationships, and his ability to begin anew. This gratitude practice becomes a cornerstone of emotional stability. The watchtower of your fortress must be vigilant against destructive thinking. From this vantage point, learn to recognize negative thought patterns before they take hold. The moment you detect thoughts of worry, fear, or resentment, redirect your mental energy toward constructive alternatives. This practice is not merely positive thinking, it is a strategic deployment of your most valuable resource, your attention. Remember, your emotional fortress is not built for isolation, but for strength. Its purpose is not to shut out the world, but to empower you to engage with life's challenges from a position of inner security. The true measure of your emotional mastery is not the absence of difficulties, but your capacity to remain calm and effective in their midst. Start today to build your fortress, stone by stone, thought by thought, and you will develop a character strength that no external circumstance can disturb. 4. It develops emotional support. The journey toward remarkable achievement and emotional stability cannot be walked alone. Establishing a mastermind alliance, a collaborative circle of supportive individuals, serves as a foundation for personal growth and maintaining composure during challenging times. This strategy has been employed by countless successful figures throughout history, featuring harmonious partnerships focused on attaining specific goals, particularly in building unwavering mental fortitude. Henry Ford, despite limited academic credentials, cultivated relationships with exceptional thinkers who enhanced his vision and helped him preserve his determination amid numerous obstacles. When peers in the automotive industry ridiculed his Model T concept, this network of supportive minds sustained his resolve. Similarly, your resilience will strengthen dramatically when you thoughtfully select companions who bring balance, insight, and fortitude to your journey. To establish your emotional support mastermind, start by identifying at least 3 individuals who embody the mental discipline you desire to cultivate. Connect with them purposefully, seeking regular interactions aimed at collective growth. Practice transparency regarding both struggles and triumphs. Authentic connections cultivate stronger emotional capabilities, as meaningful relationships provide an environment for personal transformation. No significant historical achievement has emerged from complete isolation. Your quest for unshakable tranquility follows the same principle. The right alliances multiply individual potential through shared wisdom, constructive feedback, and mutual encouragement. Members of your mastermind should offer diverse perspectives while sharing fundamental values aligned with your aspirations. Seek those who exhibit honesty without excessive judgment, offering thoughtful insights when necessary, while also celebrating each other's progress. These relationships create safe spaces for vulnerability, allowing genuine exploration of challenges that might otherwise remain unaddressed. Regular meetings establish accountability and momentum. Whether through weekly discussions, monthly reviews, or quarterly intensive sessions, consistency matters more than frequency. Structure these gatherings around specific topics, personal updates, and collaborative problem-solving. This disciplined approach transforms casual friendships into purposeful growth partnerships. The most effective masterminds operate on principles of reciprocity, where each participant both contributes and gains value. As you share difficulties and breakthroughs, others gain insight from your experiences. This interaction creates bonds strengthened through mutual investment in collective advancement. In particularly turbulent phases, your alliance provides crucial stability, offering objective assessments when emotions cloud judgment, and reminding you of past triumphs when doubt arises. Successful mastermind relationships evolve organically over time. Initial connections may start with professional development before deepening into more comprehensive support systems that span various life dimensions. Allow this natural progression to unfold, rather than forcing immediate intimacy. Technology now enables global masterminds unrestricted by geography. Virtual meetings connect complementary minds across continents, broadening potential membership beyond local networks. However, regardless of the format, the essential foundation remains trust, commitment, and shared purpose. The pursuit of emotional mastery parallels any worthwhile endeavor, requiring deliberate practice, supportive community, and persistent effort. Your carefully cultivated alliance becomes both catalyst and companion during this process, accelerating your progress while providing essential encouragement amid inevitable setbacks. Begin today by listing potential mastermind candidates and initiating conversations about forming these intentional connections. The resulting partnerships may become among your most valuable assets in developing unshakable emotional equilibrium and achieving extraordinary success. 5. It transforms your self-talk and reality. The most significant conversations you have are not with others, but with yourself. Your internal dialogue shapes your perception of reality more powerfully than any external voice. When confronted with challenges, what do you tell yourself? Do you reinforce fear and doubt, or do you speak words of courage and possibility? This practice is more than mere positive thinking. It represents the strategic use of your most potent mental resource. The quality of your life is determined not by what occurs, but by how you interpret these events. I have studied the minds of over 500 of the most successful individuals, and I can attest that their greatest accomplishment was mastering the conversation within. The thoughts you routinely entertain create the pathways through which all your future thoughts must navigate. Take Theodore Roosevelt, who transformed himself from a sickly, asthmatic child into one of the most vigorous and resilient leaders in American history. How did he achieve this? By consciously reshaping his internal narrative. "I am the captain of my soul," he would declare, even when his physical condition seemed to contradict this assertion. His mind led, and his circumstances followed. Your self-talk creates self-fulfilling prophecies. When you tell yourself, "This is overwhelming," your mind obediently produces overwhelming emotions. However, when you assert, "I have overcome challenges before, and I will master this one as well," your mind starts generating solutions instead of stress. This principle operates with mathematical certainty. The subconscious mind accepts whatever the conscious mind repeatedly suggests, making no distinction between constructive and destructive thought impulses. It works day and night to manifest whatever you most persistently think about. Herein lies both danger and opportunity. Begin today by auditing your habitual phrases. What do you say to yourself when plans go awry? Create replacement statements that acknowledge reality while emphasizing your capability to respond effectively. Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," try, "This is difficult, but I am taking it one step at a time." Instead of, "Everything is falling apart," say, "I am being challenged to find a new approach." I have observed that failure results not from lack of ability, but from destructive mental habits that undermine potential. The mind that habitually dwells on limitations finds itself imprisoned by those very thoughts. Conversely, the mind that concentrates on solutions will inevitably discover them. Your words become reality because they direct your focus, and your focus determines your emotional state. Master yourself, and you master your ability to remain calm, regardless of the situation. This emotional control is a hallmark of leadership and personal power. Remember, your subconscious interprets your words literally. When you say, "I am tired," you become more fatigued. Conversely, when you state, "I am energized by this challenge," your body reacts accordingly. Choose your words with the same care a pharmacist employs when filling prescriptions, as they possess similar potency. The most significant revelation from my research is this: you can alter the course of your life by changing your habitual thoughts and speech patterns. This power is immediately available to you, requiring no external permission or resources. It is the one true democracy where every mind has equal opportunity to create its dominant thoughts. Start this practice today and observe the transformation. Your circumstances may not shift immediately, but your experience of them will change dramatically. Over time, even the most stubborn external conditions must realign to match your persistent internal dialogue. Master your thoughts, master your words, and in doing so, you master your destiny. 6. It develops your deliberate response method. Between stimulus and response lies a space. Within that space lies your power to choose your reaction. In your choice lies your growth and freedom. While most individuals react automatically to challenging situations, allowing their primitive brain to hijack their higher faculties, you can train yourself to respond deliberately rather than reacting impulsively. This distinction between reaction and response separates those who are controlled by circumstances from those who maintain their composure regardless of external conditions. Abraham Lincoln was known for writing hot letters when provoked by incompetence or betrayal. He would express his anger in writing and then set the letter aside, never to send it. When asked about this curious habit, he explained that the process allowed him to release the emotional energy without creating consequences he would later regret. Lincoln instinctively grasped the principle behind the deliberate response method, acknowledging your initial emotional reaction privately while choosing your public response with care. Our brains are wired for quick reactions, a survival mechanism from our evolutionary past. When faced with a threat, the amygdala triggers our fight-or-flight response before the rational prefrontal cortex can fully process the situation. This biological reality explains why we often react in ways we later regret. The good news is that we can rewire these patterns through conscious practice. The space between stimulus and response is not fixed. It can be expanded. Each time you pause before reacting, you strengthen neural pathways that foster thoughtful responses over impulsive reactions. This practice creates a virtuous cycle. More pauses lead to better responses, which lead to positive outcomes, reinforcing the value of pausing. You can begin implementing the deliberate response method today with a simple practice. When faced with a triggering situation, silently count to 10 before speaking or taking action. During these 10 seconds, ask yourself, will my natural reaction serve my highest goals? If the answer is no, choose a response that aligns with the person you aspire to be, rather than the emotion you feel at that moment. The advantages of mastering this skill extend beyond merely avoiding regrets. Research shows that individuals with greater emotional regulation enjoy improved relationships, lower stress levels, better decision-making, and even longer lives. By creating space between stimulus and response, you are literally rewiring your brain for increased well-being. This practice becomes especially valuable in professional environments. Leaders who respond rather than react inspire trust and confidence, making decisions based on principles rather than pressures. They model emotional intelligence that others naturally wish to emulate. Implementing this practice is not always easy. In moments of intense emotion, recalling to pause might feel nearly impossible. Begin by practicing in low-stakes situations. Notice minor irritations throughout your day and seize them as chances to practice pausing. As your capacity grows over time, you will find that the paradox of the deliberate response method allows you to speed up your progress toward your most crucial goals by slowing down your initial reaction. Every thoughtful response builds momentum toward the person you aspire to be. With consistent practice, the gap between stimulus and response will expand, providing you greater freedom to choose calm over chaos in any situation. This growing space becomes your sanctuary of freedom, allowing you to reclaim power from circumstances and exercise your uniquely human capacity for choice. Remember, between stimulus and response lies a space. Master that space, and you master your mind. 7. It fosters mental calm. Your mind and body are not distinct entities. They are parts of an integrated system. The condition of your physical body directly influences your ability to achieve mental tranquility. This principle is often overlooked by those seeking emotional mastery, yet it provides one of the most direct pathways to cultivating an unshakable mind. When your body functions optimally, your threshold for stress increases dramatically, enabling you to remain composed under pressures that would overwhelm others. John D. Rockefeller, who built one of the largest fortunes in history and faced intense public scrutiny, lived to be 97, largely due to his prioritization of physical habits that supported mental calm. At the height of his career, when stress threatened his health, he transformed his daily routine, incorporating afternoon naps, spending time outdoors regularly, and engaging in light physical activity, irrespective of his demanding schedule. These practices not only restored his health, but also his mental balance. This connection between physical well-being and mental resilience is supported by modern neuroscience, which confirms that our physiological state creates the foundation for our psychological experiences. A body in distress, whether from exhaustion, inflammation, or nutritional deficiencies, triggers cascades of stress hormones that make maintaining calm thinking near impossible, regardless of your mental discipline. Consider the business executive who prides herself on mental toughness while surviving on 4 hours of sleep and caffeine. Her perception of resilience is an illusion. She is functioning at a fraction of her potential and experiencing stress responses far more intense than necessary. Meanwhile, her colleague prioritizing 8 hours of sleep approaches identical challenges with authentic equanimity, making clearer decisions amid less internal turmoil. You can lay the foundation for your mental calm through 3 non-negotiable daily practices. First, ensure you get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, since sleep deprivation significantly lowers your stress threshold. Second, engage in at least 30 minutes of physical movement that raises your heart rate, releasing tension and endorphins in your brain. Third, be strategic about your nutrition, minimizing stimulants and processed foods that create internal chaos. When you uphold these physical fundamentals, you will be amazed at how much more mental pressure you can manage with grace and clarity. These practices are not luxuries. They are prerequisites for those facing significant demands, yet seeking to maintain inner peace. The ancient Stoics recognized this principle, with Epictetus observing that one cannot separate bodily health from mental tranquility. In modern terms, we might call this stress-proofing your nervous system. The beauty of this approach is its accessibility. While advanced meditation techniques may take years to master, anyone can improve sleep hygiene tonight. Anyone can take a brisk walk tomorrow morning. These simple physical interventions provide immediate benefits for your mental state. Those who implement these fundamentals often report not only increased calmness, but also enhanced overall mental performance. Thoughts become clearer, emotional reactions less volatile, and creative insights more accessible. The noise floor of unnecessary internal distress lowers, allowing subtle mental signals to surface. As you establish this physical foundation for mental mastery, maintain perspective on temporary setbacks. One restless night or a missed workout does not erase your progress. The goal is not perfection, but a sustainable commitment to bodily practices supporting your highest mental functioning. Likewise, Rockefeller recognized that time devoted to physical wellness was not time removed from his work. It was an investment in his ability to manage that work with exceptional clarity and stamina. In emulating his example, you build not only a calmer mind today, but also resilience to withstand life's inevitable challenges. 8. It develops perspective. Your perception of events influences their effect on your emotional state far more than the events themselves. Two individuals can experience identical circumstances and yet respond altogether differently based on their outlook. This principle endows you with immense power. The ability to reframe any situation in a manner that promotes mental calm rather than undermines it. It entails not denying reality, but deciding which elements of that reality to emphasize. Charles M. Schwab, who rose from manual labor to become president of the United States Steel Corporation and one of America's wealthiest figures, maintained remarkable poise during financial panics that destroyed many businesses. When asked about his calm amid chaos, he explained, "I have observed that those who achieve lasting success do so not by railing against unfortunate circumstances, but by identifying the favorable aspects of those circumstances." His perspective turned potential disaster into opportunity. This wisdom resonates through time and across disciplines. The most successful individuals throughout history have known that the mind can transform any circumstance through the power of interpretation. Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit, as one great thinker noted. This principle shows that opportunity often masquerades as temporary defeat. Those who nurture the habit of looking past obstacles to uncover hidden opportunities sustain emotional equilibrium, while others succumb to despair. The wealthiest and highest achievers often share the remarkable ability to convert negative experiences into stepping stones toward their objectives, understanding that failure is never final unless one accepts it as such. This viewpoint transforms setbacks into valuable feedback instead of emotional disasters. You can harness the power of perspective by asking a simple yet powerful question. In 5 years, what will matter most about how I handle this situation? This temporal distance instantly reduces the emotional intensity of the moment, highlighting what genuinely deserves your mental energy. Another perspective-shifting inquiry is, what opportunity might be concealed within this difficulty? Remember, your eyes can only see what your mind is prepared to comprehend. Train your mind to seek opportunities in adversity, and you will find your emotional equilibrium remains stable, even amid turbulence. This reframing ability becomes crucial during personal or professional setbacks. The most successful individuals maintain unwavering faith in their ability to achieve their goals, regardless of temporary defeat. They recognize that persistence is futile without the correct perspective. One must persist intelligently, learning and adapting rather than merely repeating failed approaches. You can develop the skill of perspective shifting through daily practice. Start by closely monitoring your thoughts, acknowledging that negative emotions arise from interpretations rather than from the situations themselves. When encountering challenges, consciously substitute destructive thoughts with constructive alternatives. This mental discipline gradually becomes habitual, creating an automatic tendency toward advantageous perspectives. Remember, true emotional mastery does not stem from controlling external events, but from controlling your reactions to them. The individual who has honed this skill enjoys a form of freedom unavailable to those whose emotions are controlled by circumstances. As you master perspective, challenges that once seemed insurmountable become opportunities to display your mental strength and strategic vision. With consistent practice, you will find your capacity for calm amid chaos steadily evolving. Situations that previously triggered stress will now provoke curiosity and creativity. In problem solving, this transformative experience ranks among life's most valuable achievements, the ability to retain your mental composure, regardless of external factors. 9. The strategic utilization of visualization. Your mind cannot differentiate between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. This principle serves as an extraordinary tool for fostering mental tranquility. Through strategic visualization, you can essentially pre-experience challenging scenarios and program your desired response. This mental rehearsal creates neural pathways that your brain will naturally follow when the actual situation arises, permitting you to access calm states automatically. Bobby Jones, the legendary golfer who dominated the sport in the 1920s, attributed much of his success under pressure to visualization. Before every shot, he played a mental movie of the ball's optimal trajectory and landing. "I never hit a shot," he stated, "not even in practice, without having a sharp, focused picture of it in my head." This same technique can be applied to any situation where you wish to maintain your composure. The neuroscience behind this phenomenon is compelling. Neurologically, visualization engages many of the same brain regions as physical experience. When you vividly imagine carrying out an action, your brain fires similar neural patterns as it does when you actually perform that action. Athletes have leveraged this understanding for decades, with studies indicating that mental practice can significantly boost physical performance. The applications extend far beyond sports. Consider public speaking, which many fear. Through regular visualization, you can train your nervous system to associate speaking opportunities with confidence instead of anxiety. By repeatedly envisioning yourself delivering an impactful presentation, feeling grounded, listening to your steady voice, and seeing the engaged audience, you create a mental blueprint that your brain follows during the real moment. What makes strategic visualization particularly effective is its accessibility. Unlike many techniques requiring specific circumstances or equipment, this practice can be performed anywhere, at any time. Just a few minutes of focused mental rehearsal during your morning routine or before bed can yield remarkable results. For successful visualization, sensory richness is key. Do not merely think about the situation. Experience it with all your senses. What do you observe? What sounds are present? What physical sensations accompany your calm state? The more detailed and immersive your visualization, the more effectively it programs your nervous system. Emotional engagement is equally crucial. As you visualize, genuinely experience the emotional state you wish to embody. If you are practicing maintaining calm during a challenging conversation, truly sense that centeredness, the steady rhythm of your breathing, and the clarity of your thoughts. Your brain not only records the imagined scenario, but also registers the associated emotional state. Begin implementing strategic visualization by identifying 3 challenging scenarios you commonly face. It may involve a difficult conversation with a specific individual, a high-pressure work situation, or a circumstance that usually triggers anxiety. Dedicate 5 minutes daily to visualizing yourself navigating these scenarios with complete calm and clarity. Pay attention to the details, the environment, the people involved, and the words exchanged. Most importantly, feel the emotional state of composure you desire to maintain. With consistent practice, you will discover that when similar scenarios arise in real life, your mind and body will naturally recall the calm state you have mentally rehearsed. Consistency is more critical than duration. 5 minutes of focused visualization daily will yield better results than an hour's worth once a week. Consider integrating this practice into existing routines, perhaps immediately following meditation or just before sleep, when your mind is most receptive. As you cultivate this skill, you will find that strategic visualization evolves into more than just a technique. It transforms into a fundamental approach to life's challenges, turning potentially stressful encounters into opportunities for experiencing your highest level of functioning. In the crucible of crisis, true character emerges. The manner in which you conduct yourself amidst challenges not only dictates your immediate outcomes, but also shapes your enduring legacy. When chaos surrounds you, your ability to maintain mental clarity and emotional stability positions you as a leader worth following, regardless of formal titles or positions. Consider Florence Nightingale during the Crimean War. While others recoiled from the horrific conditions in military hospitals, she approached the situation with methodical calm. Implementing basic sanitation practices amid squalor and suffering significantly reduced mortality rates. Her composed presence became a beacon of hope and direction. Soldiers, doctors, and nurses alike found themselves naturally following her lead, not due to any official authority, but because her composure inspired confidence when fear threatened to overwhelm them. This dynamic recurs throughout history and in everyday life. Those who maintain their center during hardship naturally attract others. In families, workplaces, and communities, composed individuals become unofficial leaders, their steady presence creating calm islands amid turbulent waters. Your composure generates a ripple effect that extends far beyond any immediate situation. When you respond thoughtfully instead of emotionally to challenges, you foster an atmosphere that encourages clearer thinking and improved decision-making. Others sense this shift and unconsciously synchronize with your energy. Your calm becomes contagious. Children especially absorb these lessons deeply. They learn not through lectures on stress management, but by observing how you react when plans go awry, finances become tight, or conflicts arise. Your example inscribes itself onto their emotional blueprint, influencing how they will manage future challenges. Colleagues and friends likewise draw strength from your steady presence in intense meetings, difficult conversations, or moments of organizational uncertainty. Your composure offers an alternative to anxiety and reactivity, demonstrating that another way exists. This ability to remain composed is not an innate quality, but one that is cultivated through consistent practice. Each tough moment presents an opportunity to strengthen this muscle. When you notice the pull to react, the simple act of pausing and consciously breathing can reset your nervous system. Regular practices such as meditation, reflection, or physical disciplines bolster your capacity to remain centered when it matters most. The cultivation of unshakable calm represents one of life's most valuable achievements. It transforms not only your external results, but also your internal experience. Challenges that once might have derailed you for days become mere moments of temporary turbulence. Problems that previously seemed overwhelming become puzzles to solve methodically. Keep in mind that your ultimate measure of success is not the absence of storms in your life, but your ability to bring peace to those storms. Everyone faces difficulties. What sets extraordinary individuals apart is how they confront them. This becomes your true legacy, not what you acquire or achieve, but who you become and how that transformation affects others. Long after specific accomplishments fade from memory, people will remember how you made them feel in moments of crisis, the confidence you've inspired, the clarity you've maintained, and the compassion you've exhibited. By fostering composure, you provide others with a living example of what is possible in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Your personal practice of mental mastery becomes your most meaningful gift to everyone you encounter, a gift that continues to give long after you have exited the room.